All right, so we're going to do chapter 2 of the used car manager. Let's go. All right, so this is chapter 2 of the used car manager's ultimate playbook. And so we're going to go through chapter 2. So hopefully you guys you've already bought your book and you're reading along with me, and we're learning together, because I'm going to give you some nuggets that aren't in the book. But I will give you I'll explain it to you guys in more detail. So marketing domination, stealing market share. So this is what I do, right? Get into a market, I find out who the players are, what are they doing, where are they spending their money, where's the low hanging fruit, where are the people, the players that aren't paying attention. And the truth about marketing isn't about ads, it's the system keeping your lot busy. If you can't measure it, you're gambling, you're not marketing. Most dealers think marketing is just running ads, and it's a system that keeps your lot really busy. If your phones are quiet, it's not the market, it's your message. If your traffic's up but sales aren't, it's your merchandising. And if you're spending money but can't trace results, it's your lack of accountability. So rule number 1, marketing that can't be measured isn't marketing, it's gambling. So you got to make sure you're reviewing that all the time. And you don't need to outspend your competitors, you just need to outsmart them. So the goal, let's just go to the next one. So the goal is to steal attention first. Get your unfair share of the market. I wrote a book about that too. You need to speak to the real pain. Payment fatigue, high interest rates, fear of getting burned. Big box retailers are really good at fear of getting burned. I think Vroom was the ones that really try to hammer in or lean into that message. But the way it works is, let's be real, nobody wakes up saying, I can't wait to buy from your dealership. You need to earn their attention before you ever earn their business. The modern shopper sees hundreds of dealers' ads, and to stand out, you got to speak to real pain points. And here's an example, okay? I ran a campaign called Lower Your Payments Without Buying New. And we targeted customers who financed previously. And you can target customers who finance from you specifically, but it's even as effective when you're marketing to these customers that are not even in your owner base, like Conquest, because you can do searches, you can buy, there's data out there that you can buy customers whose credit score has improved in the last 6 months, that have bought a vehicle, that they're in equity, or you don't even have to look at the ones that are in equity. You just got to know that, hey, they financed a vehicle 12 months ago or greater, and you can help them lower their interest rate. And so we targeted these people, and we said, if your interest rate starts with a 9 or 10, you're probably paying too much. And we'll review your loan and see if we can lower. That ad brought in 120 inbound calls in 10 days, and we sold 15 cars. So you got to speak to the problem your customers actually have. That's rule number 2. Speak to the problem your customers actually have, not the one you think they have. But here's the next step. You've got to make sure your BDC, your sales team, know how to handle these customers, because you can drive all this traffic, but they don't know how to convert those customers. It's just wasting money. I'll give you another real quick example. We've got a dealer on our program right now, and we can get them 50, 60 appointments, right out the gate, but then they get on the phone. So we had our AI get in contact with them, they engage with them, and then salespeople get on the phone and don't know how to convert that customer and bring them in because they haven't been trained. So if you're going to spend the money on marketing, train your salespeople, your BDC, your managers, the game plan, so that you can work that play and execute and close deals. I can run the same play at one store. Sales manager, sales team aren't effective. Run it at a different store and they crush it. So you really have to teach your salespeople how to do it. The next thing, so you steal attention first, and then the marketing pyramid. So this is the foundational stuff, right? Google My Business, SEO, and then the new one I didn't even put in the book is the GEO, which you're going to have to start understanding more. ChatGPT, Grok, Google, all of those companies, so that you can optimize your how you come up in those searches inside ChatGPT and those LLMs out there. And then you got to make sure your site speed is up to par. Middle, you got search ads, retargeting, social, geo-targeting, conquest ads, testimonial video ads. I don't see enough of those. Get your customers to write a good testimonial and then retarget those with customers in your owner base that look like them. I mean, super important. Next thing, I gave you that real world example, 15 deliveries, 0 discounting. That's even the beauty of it, right? You get these customers that you have an opportunity to help them lower their payment $100 and save them thousands. There's not a lot of negotiations. You lowered their payment $100, you're saving them thousands, and they're in a newer vehicle. You've got to track what works. Track the spend, leads, appointments sold. You've got to shift the budget to channels. I'm not saying, hey, go cut your budget today, but shift it to the ones that have a lower cost per sale, but the ones that convert the highest. No sense in putting a lower cost per sale and you're not selling anything. The ones that the highest converting opportunities that you have, shift the budget there. Stop paying to look busy, pay to be profitable. That's the biggest takeaway on that one. And if you don't know how to measure cost per sale, ad spend divided by a unit sold from that source, so make sure you're doing it. So if you got an auto trader deal costing you $600 a sale and Google search is costing you $100 a sale, maybe you shift some of that auto trader budget to your Google or vice versa. You don't just lean in on one, move it around. Make sure you're maximizing and optimizing your marketing spend. Stop paying to look busy. It's rule number 4. Start paying to be profitable. Marketing that feeds sales. This is super important, right? If your marketing is not feeding your sales, what are you doing it for, right? Every campaign should give salespeople a conversation starter. Value-driven messaging beats hype and cliche. So you got to make sure that you're giving not only the right message to your customers in marketing, but you have to give it to your salespeople so they know what the word tracks and how to convert. No sense in doing a deal that has high interest rate. You do a great job, you bring these customers in, and all of a sudden your salespeople don't know how to convert them and don't know how to help guide them into a car deal. So you got to know how to teach your salespeople, your managers, how to work a car deal. And next one, own your backyard. You know, this is a big thing. You'll see a lot of people like, oh, let's figure out how to transfer our vehicles and do all this because they see Carvana advertising it all day, but then they don't even focus on, their own backyard. Target your 15-mile radius. If you're a bigger metro, maybe you tighten it a little bit, but you can grow your 1% market share per quarter, which is 4% increase per year, 20 to 30 extra sales in most markets, depending on the size of your store and all that. But that's real. There's no reason why I can't go into a market, any market in the country, and I can guarantee you I will outsell most of every competitor in the marketplace. So you got to own your backyard. So market local zips, pull the data out of your system, find a way. So rule 6, don't try to own the whole market when your backyard first. They said don't boil the ocean, right? Just focus on a little part of that ocean, then you can boil it faster. The marketing flywheel, winning flow, right mix, right message, appointments, review, more traffic, break one link, and guess what happens? Momentum dies. That's any one of those. You don't have the right mix, you have the right message, but they're coming in and you don't have the right inventory. You get the right message, but they're not converting to appointments. There's no reviews. There's no more traffic. So it just all breaks the momentum. And marketing doesn't fix process. It amplifies it, good or bad. It's unfortunate, but you'll see it. Manager's checklist. You've got to make sure that every day you're reviewing ad metrics, approving content. Weekly, you reallocate spend by cost per sale. Monthly, your market share audit, competitor review. Every month you have to look at the low-hanging fruit. There's turnover in managers. Okay, this manager, they got a new person in there that doesn't have a lot of experience. He's sleeping. They're not stocking this type of inventory. Let me go stock that inventory and I will eat their lunch. So bottom line, Bottom line, marketing domination isn't about tricks or slogan. It's about clarity, consistency, and connection. The stores that win are the ones that know exactly who they're talking to, tracking every dollar, every click, build ads that sound like people, not commercials. And you don't have to scream the loudest. You have to speak the clearest, because clarity cuts through the noise every single time. Final rule, if you can't sell what people don't see, and you can't grow what you don't track.